7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
This is it. Welcome to MTV Music Television, the world's first 24-hour stereo video music channel. Now, just moments ago, all of the VJs and the crew here at MTV collectively hit our executive producer, Sue Steinberg, over the head with a bottle of champagne, and behold, a new concept is born. The best of TV combined with the best of radio. Now, starting right now, you'll never look at music the same way again. We'll be right back to introduce the other VJs and the other folks who are going to be with us on MTV.
I'm Alan Hunter. I will be with you right after Mark. We'll be covering the latest in music news coast to coast here on MTV Music Television.
I'm Martha Quinn. The music will continue non-stop on MTV Music Television, the newest component of your stereo system.
Well, all right, I'm J.J. Jackson, and I'll be sitting in with the latest video music performances the way they were meant to be. That's in stereo on MTV Music Television. You'll never look at music the same way again.
Hi, I'm Nina Blackwood, and I'll be with you after J.J. right here on MTV, the world's first video music channel, all day, all night, in stereo.
Are those guys the best? We all are so excited about this new concept in TV. We'll be doing for TV what FM did for radio. And let's get into it right now at MTV.
Well, I mean, it's probably not a Brat Pack America, I'm sure, but...
Yeah, I haven't cracked it open yet, because I have a lot of things going on since I got it. I only got it like 3 or 4 days ago. I think it was Friday. I think it came in the mail on Friday. And my friend Tina... Actually, Chrissy's friend Tina that lives down here, I work with her husband Mike, and we were out on the boat on Saturday with them. And yes, we are boating already. It's boat season down here.
When is it not?
Yeah, I know. We were boating just a few weeks ago too. So, so we were out on the boat and.
Scott. Go ahead. Did I say it out loud? It was in my head. Yeah. I don't know if I said it out loud. Okay.
I know. Well, so Tina was like, well, I want to read that book. I'm like, well, you can, if you want to read it before me, if you read it fast, So she's like, yeah, I'll whip through that thing in like 4 days. Okay, go for it. So I got to bring that to her.
All right.
And then I'll get to it after I read, these 2 other books that I got going on the side of my bed right now. Anyway. Along with, Bible study and, of course, doing research for this awesome podcast that I'm part of called the 80's Reboot Overdrive.
Yeah, I know. I mean, our homework assignments, oh my gosh. Wow.
This is
tough work.
I know. I wanted to bust out my the videos. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
What do you say?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, roll tape.
Where am I at? Am I recording? I'm recording. How about that? All right.
Sword of omens, give me sight beyond sight.
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sewer and the Kodan Armada. Get ready. Prepare for blast-off.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
This is 80's Reboot Overdrive Podcast.
We were dancing just like Swayze when Jennifer Grey had a nose. Oh, how I miss the 80s, but I'm too young to really know. Too young to know.
is like so dated.
So this is 80s Reboot Overdrive, and I am Dave. Online, I have got 80s Auto Reverse, Scott.
Hello, everybody.
And what we are doing again now, this is I think it's our 6th episode.
Is it 6 already?
6.
5th or 6th. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
It is absolutely fantastic. And this is our collaboration episode. And what we do is we're collaborating with the other 80s podcasters and bloggers around a central theme topic. And the topic this month is our favorite 80s music videos. Now, my take on this specific episode is going to be a little bit different on that. I'm just going to... I went a different angle because what I want to do is not just talk about... What I want to do is one of my favorites and one of my least favorites and kind of the weirdest.
Okay.
So I have 3 different angles that I'm going at it, but I'll have only one representation for each one of those.
Okay, I'm coming at it from like about 5 different angles, and I have several videos from each angle. So I don't expect a lot of feedback. I'm just going to run through them and chit chat about them a little bit as I go through them because I know we don't have that much time to go through all of these.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of figured. I figured you being our resident 80s music man, since we don't have Music Girl online, that you would probably have a bigger breadth of knowledge around this particular topic. So I'm interested to see what you're coming up with.
Oh, yeah.
But our participants for the crossover, just so everybody is aware, our own stuff, that's at southgatemediagroup.com/80s Reboot blog. This month I will be writing the blog for this topic. So where it's normally Rose, our 80s music girl, she's taking a pass this month, so I'll be writing the topic up on that one. Rediscoverthe80s.com, they're participating. WeMidget.wordpress.com, she's participating. KillerKitsch.wordpress.com. And we have the Stuck in the 80s, and their blog is tampabay.com/blog/80s. And we also, over the last month that I didn't participate, but we had another join in for the 80s League, and that's oldschoolevil.com. All great blogs and podcasters, and I highly recommend that you guys go out there, check out their stuff, specifically, on this topic, but also keep following them and commenting on their articles, because every month that we do this collaboration, they're writing stuff that, like, I'm like, oh my God, how come I didn't think about that? And, they're just awesome, every one of them. So, on the topic of favorite 80s music videos, really what I wanted to first ask you, Scott, do you have a favorite VJ?
Oh, that's a good question. Always had a crush on Martha Quinn.
Of course. Who didn't?
She was really cute and fun, and just liked her. Mark Goodman was good. They were all great, and I love listening to them on satellite radio on the 80s channel. It's great to hear them all back and it brings back their voices. You hear their voices, and you can see their faces immediately. As soon as those memories come flooding back very quickly. So I would have to say Martha Quinn was probably my favorite.
I'm with you on that, definitely.
Yeah.
And you're right, 80s on 8 on XM radio. Those guys are still broadcasting. And when you hear them, you picture them. But you picture them in their 80s fame.
Yeah. Mark Goodman with the big hair, with the big like fro, kind of a fro hairstyle, and then what was, I can't remember the other guy's name right now. Alan. Yeah.
What was his
Oh
last
my
name?
Gosh, we should know this.
We should definitely know this. It should be right at the top of our head. But with the suspenders is what I remember.
Oh, yeah. And then there was always, Oh, the
Alan
blonde
Hunter.
girl. Alan Hunter.
Yep.
Yeah. See, put on the spot, I always forget these things.
Yeah.
So this is why I have to make notes, Dave.
Well, this is why
I
I
wasn't.
can Google quickly. So.
That's why I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't have those in my notes. That's why I have all these other things in my notes that I can rip through.
So then you've got different genres you're covering then.
So I've got my favorite, my favorites, a couple of my favorites, a couple of the most impactful, a few that I hated, and just ones that were really memorable to me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think I want to start with the hated category.
Okay.
Because that just sounds like fun, and the video that I have in mind on my least liked or hated or what I consider the worst video, and I'm curious if you're if you're basing your choices on the music or just the artistic elements of the video.
A combination of both on some of these.
Okay. So I've only got one that I wanted to talk about, and the one that I'm putting throwing the flag out on the play is Tony Basil, Mickey. Okay. Now first off, the song. Please, you get that playing in your head, you can't get rid of it. Absolutely cannot get rid of this song. Now,
I totally understand.
And unfortunately, I played some snippets of it right before we started recording because I wanted to refresh my memory. I wish I would have done it now.
Make sure you disliked it as much as you do, and you found out you did. You were right.
Yes,
right?
yes, I agreed with my feelings of remembrance. But the only thing going on in this video is her singing to the camera and a bunch of cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's all this video had to offer. And I'm just, first the music's bad, and then that's all you give me for the video? I can't give you any points for this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's diehard Tony Basil fans now that are switching podcasts because, I'm dissing Tony Basil. But I mean, that was just not a great representation of her talent. And not a fan of the song, not a fan of the video.
Well, a couple episodes back when we did the Weird Al episode, Weird Al liked that song so much that he did a parody on it,
Yeah.
Which was funny. Which was far better than the real song, actually. and the video was much funnier, much more entertaining.
Yeah, and I think that if anything deserved a parody, that would definitely be it.
Yeah, that I would have to say that's a pretty easy target. So
that was my least favorite. What's in your least favorite category?
Okay, I have 3.
Okay.
Actually 4, but now the first one is probably the one that I dislike the most, and it falls into that one-hit wonder category, just like the Tony Basil song. And a lot of people actually like this song, but I couldn't stand it. And it's one of those songs that gets in your head also. And that would be, and I could not stand the weird look of the overalls that these guys are wearing through the whole video, and that would be Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. It gets on my every last nerve. Just, like you said, is it partially the song? Is it partially the video? It's both for these things. I just didn't like it at all, like you with Mickey. So this one, I just couldn't stand it. I still can't stand it. If I hear this song in the radio, I have to turn it because I know if I don't turn it, it's going to be in my head repeating over and over and over and over again all day long, probably for the next week or two. It's one where you wake up in the morning and it's right there just waiting for you. It's haunting you. It's sitting on your shoulder just going, come on, Eileen. No,
I agree with you for the video.
I got away.
I agree with you for the video. I don't agree with you for the song.
Really?
I think this song is very catchy, and it's iconic for the 80s.
I'll admit, iconic, yes. I'll admit that. But I didn't like it.
Well, I mean, you're entitled, but I just for me, I didn't mind the song at all, and I thought, even to this day, if it does come on, then I mean, I'm not jamming it, but I mean, I'm singing along.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Whatever. Can't stand it.
All right, so what's next on the list of hate?
Okay, so I did not like. I was never a big fan of the Grateful Dead, but their video "Touch of Grey," I just thought it was lame, and I didn't like the song much. And then one of my favorite bands, I was very disappointed with this album that they came out with called Turbo, and it's Judas Priest, and they had this video called "Locked Inside" or "Locked Inside Your Love," and it was just very disappointing to me. They went so far, like just really all commercial. When you don't want your favorite bands to be like sellouts,
Right.
where they're just going for popularity at this point. And I just didn't get the video as like this little creepy little claymation skeleton thing that was running around. I don't know. It was just stupid. And I just thought for a band that rocks so heavily could come up with such a stupid video. And I didn't like the song much either, just, because part of that album. And then the other one that just, it was so weird. Every time we would go over to this these girls, these two sisters that we hung out with in high school, every time we'd go over there, this one video would come on MTV because we'd sit around and watch MTV and just hang out, right? Belinda Carlisle, Heaven on Earth. Now, normally I loved the Go-Go's. I loved Belinda Carlisle. I thought she was very cute and fun, but this one song just drove me nuts because it was always on. It was way overplayed. So those are the ones that I really just dislike. But I can picture them still very clearly in my head. They can go over and over.
I'm trying to recollect the video for Heaven on Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it starts out with in the very beginning. There's a big, like you're out in space looking at the Earth and it's spinning, and it's a really cheesy depiction of it. Very bad art, and it's just really not that great of a video. I just thought they could have come up with something a little more original.
I don't know if I'm remembering it right, but is it kind of like the same vein as like Sledgehammer from?
No.
Okay.
No. Not like Sledgehammer.
Okay. Well, I meant like how it looked as far as like the Earth.
No.
Okay.
No, that's Sledgehammer, and we'll get to that in a minute because that's on my list for some other things.
Okay.
For another section of what I want to do. So what's your next topic that you want to tackle?
Well, let's see. It's either going right into the best video section or the weirdest video section.
Okay. Why don't you go with the weirdest?
Weirdest. Okay.
Yeah.
So the one that tops the list for me is it's got to be one hit wonder because I don't think I've heard anything from these guys ever again. In fact, I had to double check the name of the band before we started this because I forgot the name of the band. I just know the name of the song. Fishheads by Barnes and Barnes.
Come on, Barnes and Barnes?
Yes.
That's a great song. That is from Dr. Demento. In fact, it was mentioned. I mentioned that song back when we did the Weird Al show. We were talking to Skip and Rose, and it was about where we started hearing Weird Al, right?
Right.
One of the first things I remember from listening to Weird Al on Dr. Demento was that Fishhead song. I love that song. Roly Poly Fish Heads.
No,
I never seen cappuccino in an Italian restaurant.
Never said I hated this song.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's just weird. I mean,
No, it is very weird.
Bizarre. It's almost like we're watching the
Forbidden Zone.
Forbidden Zone, right? It's like we're watching Forbidden Zone, but on an MTV version.
Nice.
And I mean, he takes a fish head to a movie and he doesn't have to pay. I mean, who thinks of that?
Yeah.
I mean, and they, you know, they depict that into the music video, you know, and you know, fish heads, you know, you can have a conversation with them about anything because they don't talk back, you know, and, you know, you never see a fish head at an Italian restaurant sipping, you know, expensive cappuccinos. I mean,
in Italian restaurants with Oriental women.
Yeah, it's just crazy bizarre and just weird, but in the most, I don't know, fun way that it could possibly be. And it's just crazy, just absolutely crazy. And I don't know, I think, you know, like Forbidden Zone, you probably need to be, you know, maybe imbibing a little bit in some recreational activities in order to really fully enjoy the extent of it. Or do you just go in with it and just go, I'll go along for this crazy ride because it's good. I don't know. I don't know what your frame of mind's got to be, but it's bizarre in what I would say a good way.
Yeah, that's a great move, or great song, great video. I love it.
And it doesn't surprise me that you like it. Just knowing your taste in movies. And,
yeah. Dude, did you ever get a chance to watch that 80's one about the alien rock band?
No.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. You've got to check that out. The one with Pia Zadora.
Yeah, you mentioned that
I'm telling you, we have to do.
We've got to do like a Mystery Science.
We got to do a Mystery Science. I'm not kidding. This is a perfect movie for it.
Exactly.
Really. It's perfect. So anyway, I'm going to have to go with, if you want to go, you said weird. I don't really have a weird category. I have more of what I would call like interesting and like trend setting.
Okay.
Type videos. Okay.
Well, yeah, let's hear what you got for that.
Or just really a creative. I'm going to call them creative. Okay. And one is very simple yet creative, and it's one of my favorite songs by this artist, and it's Paul Simon, You Can Call Me Al.
Oh, I love that song.
And the video is great. You got Chevy Chase in there, and it's just really very simple. They're just sitting there next to each other in these chairs and kind of goofing around and just playing this song. And it was just fun. It was always one of my favorite videos to watch, and I would never turn it off if I saw that one come on. So just because being a big Chevy Chase fan, of course. And one of the funny things that always struck me about it is when that Chevy Chase is like, what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
And Paul Simon's like 5'2" or something. I mean, and, they're just size differences are so huge. And just for Paul Simon just to be so, silly, really, fun and silly. You expected him to be much more serious over the years. Although he was on Saturday Night Live quite a few times and pretty funny in that too. So that was one of my creative. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I really loved about that video is just at the beginning of it, right at the onset, is because as the song's starting, you're expecting Paul Simon to start, to sing, and I think he even actually takes a breath where you think he's about to start, and then Chevy starts mouthing the words. So it's so much fun because it's unexpected. You don't know that. That's what, you didn't know that's what was going to happen. We've all seen the video 100 times now, and we know that's what's going to happen. And then you had all the funny physical elements of it, where Chevy is like, he takes a drink of water and then he just drops it and it spills all over the place. And I just thought it was a really, really creative video, yet so simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's just the two of them sitting there and then messing with stuff. That's props.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Yep. Well, Chevy's a physical actor.
Yeah, he is.
Physical comedian. So, right. I mean, we all love when he does. How many times did he fall down in the beginning of Saturday Night Live and introduce, live from Saturday night or live from New York at Saturday night. So, anyway, I have a couple other creative ones that I like to mention, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
Okay. Tom Petty's Don't Come Around Here No More.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought that was a great take on Alice in Wonderland, because Alice in Wonderland's already a trip, right?
Right.
Already a very strange story, and a lot of people relate it to, LSD and some stuff that was going on back then, and and then what was it? The band that sang White Rabbit. No, not Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but another band that did a White Rabbit song that kind of spun on. It was Jefferson Starship or Jefferson Airplane. I can't remember which era they did it, but it was called White Rabbit, and that was a spin on the whole Alice in Wonderland. Actually the song was about it, but this was just a video. Tom Petty just did this video that had to do with Alice in Wonderland, and it was just so funny and interesting and bizarre, and it ended with them eating her as a cake. I mean, it was just really weird. Very bizarre, and Tom Petty has a good sense of humor and is very creative. So, just always one of my favorite videos to watch.
He's got kind of a Tim Burton kind of humor to him.
Oh yeah, and that video is very Tim Burton.
It is.
I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody said, "Oh yeah, he had his hands in on that one." Yeah, I could see that. So,
as soon as you started, talking, the first thing that popped in my brain about Tom Petty, which was actually in the 90s, was Mary Jane's Last Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what was popping in my brain as you started talking, and I'm like, he can't be talking about the same talking about that same video.
No.
And then I had to reset my brain, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that was the one, Alice in Wonderland and all that. So, but another bizarre one for him, obviously in the 90s, 93, was Mary Jane's Last Dance.
See, I can't even remember the video right now.
He essentially his his person of interest is dead, and he's dressing her up and dancing with her.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up because that's pretty bizarre too.
Yeah.
So a couple of the other ones that I thought were very creative and like pivotal, was another one was Dire Straits' Money for Nothing.
Great video.
And I think the fun part about it is that they're talking about video, the MTV world at that point. The song is about that, the music industry and the videos, and it's just really an interesting take on it. This animation that was very popular at the time, the style of animation with the computer generated graphics, which were very early in its stages, with the moving guys just moving furniture around, and it's just a great video. So, what'd you think of that one? It's a good one, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
on
a fan
board.
of that. Yeah, just because, it's very iconic for the imagery, like you said, with the computer animation.
Yep.
And even as they're showing the band shots, they're adding the colorized elements of the neon and all that stuff.
It's so 80s, dude. It's so 80s.
80s is what that does.
Yeah. If you ask a lot of people what is one of the most iconic songs from the 80s, that's one that's definitely got to come up.
Yeah, definitely.
Or videos or whatever. So the other one is something that you brought up earlier, was Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. And it was creative, it was different, it was something totally off the wall that you weren't expecting, and I appreciate the amount of work that goes into that type of photography. Now, whether it was videography and they cut, either way, if it was a video and they cut pieces out to make it look like time-lapse video, or if they were taking pictures, individual pictures, and splicing them all together to make like a choppy movie or like a time-lapse looking movie, either one is a lot of hours of editing, like crazy amount of hours of editing to make a video like that. So I always thought that was just like one of the most fun, creative videos that had come out in a long time. I think that was in, it had to be like 85 or so. I'd have to look it up. I don't know that year, but right in the middle of, still early in the stages of MTV. Although we've been around for a few years, people are really starting to get their hands on videos and really get their minds into it and change the way videos are being done. So, can you tell I love this topic?
I can definitely tell. Around that song though, in the video, Sledgehammer, it's probably very iconic of a lot of let's say the family movies that were on TV, like around the holidays, you had the claymation going on, and I think that video really played into the popularity of that element that was going on. I was a fan of, actually a lot of what Peter Gabriel was putting out, in videos around that time frame.
Oh, another one that he did that was really creative and unusual was Shock the Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. That was a great video.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. You're like, wow, what is this? The first time you see it, you're like, what is going on in this video? So
yeah, he had, I don't know how much of it he influenced around the artistic elements for the videos, but whoever was that was like in charge of that, they nailed it. Because almost every one of his videos are like that, where you go, oh yeah, I remember that, big time, or I remember, Shock the Monkey, like you said.
Big Time's another great one.
Yeah. And all fun stuff and iconic,
Oh yeah.
You don't forget those things.
When we were doing the mixtape auto reverse with the heavy metal albums and stuff with Chris and Tim, I really wish I knew the depth of like who was producing these videos and who was coming up with the collaboration for the ideas of, like if there were certain people that were working with all these artists that came up with these crazy ideas, they were just video idea people, Right. I'd be really interested to see if there's some certain people that were involved in a bunch of different artists' videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would think that, maybe there was people that were crossing over from 80's TV or movies, and just as a side gig, they'd be like, all right, well, I get to direct a music video now.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I would assume that, that's the same pool of talent, that's already kind of out there. And, if somebody's like, well, I know a guy who's a director, and let me get his take on this.
Right.
I don't know. Just my my simple mind.
I would have loved to have been involved in this industry at the time, and I tried to get into that whole thing, and it was really it was kind of an eye-opening experience, because it really was sad to say. I know a lot of if anybody that is like part of the Hollywood scene and listens to this podcast, they may disagree with me right now, but it really was about who you know and how well you know them to get into the video, into the not just video, not just like video, music video, but like TV or movies or any of that whole Hollywood scene, even behind the scenes, not as an actor, but I just wanted to be a cameraman. I just wanted to work a camera. And I just really realized that it was really about getting to know the right people. And some of the people that I met, I just didn't like some of them. So I kind of got out of that. I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. So anyway, a couple other really creative ones that always stick in my head is like Genesis, Land of Confusion.
Oh my God, I totally had that one up as you were talking.
Really?
I brought it up because I wanted to remember who made the puppets.
Oh yeah, that was confusing. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Spinning Image, right? That was the people that made it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, as you were talking and you started getting into the creative part, I'm like, okay, we've definitely got to make sure we cover Land of Confusion.
Oh yeah, so, and that it's funny because that kind of fits today. I'd love to see a remake of that with puppets of like the new people that are in charge of the world these days, like the North Korean leader and Trump and Putin, and it would just be it'd be an interesting take on today's Land of Confusion.
You could totally see those Spitting Image puppets
Oh yeah, I am picturing him
for those guys
easily, and oh yeah, you could totally. That's easy to picture.
For Trump and I mean it would be. As soon as you started talking, I was like, all right, I can picture this. Somebody needs to get on this.
Yep. Yeah, new release of Land of Confusion. It would work, man.
It would completely work.
So, another one.
Other than the fact of him like waking up next to Nancy, because it's like he's alone in the White House, right? So, but anyway, we don't want to get into political talk.
Okay. Okay, another memorable one, and Rose would love that I'm going to mention this, and that would be a-ha's Take on Me.
I've never seen it.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I need a drink. Oh my gosh.
Take on Me. The whole elements that you're with them combining the comic book and her getting sucked into the comic book world and then them getting into real life. It was a just over the top, iconic, great video.
Very creative.
Yes.
I love the creativity behind it. Whoever came up with the concept was great, because it really doesn't have anything to do with the lyrics or anything. There's no like going back to Land of Confusion. The video portrayed the lyrics.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
And a lot of times that happens when you're watching music videos. The pictures that they're portraying, the videos that they're bringing out, are a vision of what they're singing about. Typically,
right.
Not always.
Yeah,
not
Money
always.
For Nothing.
Typically.
I mean, that's definitely
exactly.
a great portrayal of the lyrics.
Yeah.
You got the two moving guys complaining about how these guys on MTV are getting paid for nothing, and they're showing that to you. Their representation of the lyrics in image. But you're right. a-ha, Take on Me doesn't do that at all.
No,
but
there's
it still is very iconic for the 80s.
Yep. Let's see. There's a couple others. I have more to talk about if you want to keep going. And I don't know where these fall into like categories as some of the creative.
Are any of these your favorite videos?
I would say some of the ones that I already talked about are kind of my favorite videos. I think because they left the most lasting impression. Okay. You know what I mean? Not that it's always my favorite songs, because there's some songs that are my favorite songs that the video is just like, okay, like a Def Leppard song, say, for instance, right? You have it's just your typical concert footage.
Right.
Okay. Yes, that was a okay when they first did the original heavy metal bands were doing, it was all heavy metal. Most of them were the heavy metal bands, although Wham did one too, where they were doing this concert thing, where like they looked like they were in concert and you're watching the concert from video and you could see all these different angles, but it was way overdone by the time the 80s were over.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So some of my favorite songs would have fallen into those categories, but the videos were I thought they were kind of weak, The first few times you see a concert video, you're like, that's great. I wish I was there. But in reality, it's all a setup anyway. Anyway, so where was I going with this? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Oh, you were asking if some of these were my favorite videos.
Yeah.
So there are certain ones that always stand out in my mind. And some of the ones I already talked about, and like the heavy metal ones that have the concert footage, you can picture all of those, but they all kind of blade together as the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites and one of my favorite metal songs and bands was "Round and Round" by Rat.
Of course.
Starring the the very funny Milton Berle. Crazy stuff like that. And that was a creative video, and it really didn't have anything to do with the lyrics. They were just being fun and metal.
So if you had would you classify that as your favorite video?
Oh gosh, dude, I can't pick a favorite video. It's like picking your favorite song.
Come on.
It's like picking your favorite album. I can't.
You can't.
Okay, my favorite music video. My favorite music video. Oh.
Come on, Scott, give it to me.
Okay, hold on. I gotta look a song up real quick here.
All right. So while you're doing
Just
that,
I
actually.
Did I inspire some ideas?
No. I've got one that I picked, and I want to preface it by saying this is not what would probably considered as a standard, best video of the 80s, because I know that a lot of people pick like Thriller from Michael Jackson. I mean, that's a given. Or you think When Doves Cry, Prince. You think of those very
good
iconic 80s videos, and those are the things that pop to mind when somebody says favorite 80s video. But there's one that was so simply done, but if you look at what they were portraying in the video, it sets up this great divide between these two different genres, and the song meshed them together so well.
And this is a concert video, isn't it?
No, well, I mean, it turned into one.
Yeah.
But it started with just them in the studio. On one side of the wall, you've got Run DMC. On the other side, you've got Aerosmith.
That's great.
And the song Walk This Way. And the video starts, you've got, them, doing their band practice or whatever you want to say that they're doing. And their music is too loud for the other group, and they're hitting on the wall, and they're trying to annoy each other. And over the course of the beginning of the song, they break down that wall, and then you get this awesome collaboration between these two bands. And the video, very simple, but what it portrays is just that mesh of those two great genres.
And the breaking down of the wall is very potent.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're together, and they're working together, and they're like, our worlds can get together and work together and be good. And not only was it a great song, but the video had just that element of it that if you paid attention to what it was portraying, it was iconic in its own rights.
Good pick, Dave.
Thanks.
This did not come to mind when I was going through my list of things to talk about.
Yeah, because I don't assume that the budget was as big as, like, say, Thriller.
Yeah.
And you don't have the imagery like a sledgehammer, but just if you keep it simple, but you still can portray that an image just in full force in your face, which is a breaking down of that wall. It sold it, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah. That's a good pick, man. I totally forgot about it. So you brought up Thriller.
Yeah.
And I have to, I was going to go in that direction as far as, because this video does have to be mentioned. I mean, you're talking about videos, music videos of the 80s. I don't think there was a more, like a moment that people were waiting for, and I think MTV did a really good job of promoting it and building up the suspense and excitement for when this video first aired. The first day that it aired, and it was people were talking about it. I remember people talking about it at school, And I remember where I was. I was at a girlfriend's house, and we were waiting for it to come on, And I was not a Michael Jackson fan by any means at the time. I mean, come on. It was either AC/DC, Iron Maiden, or Michael Jackson. Really? No. But
it wasn't in your wheelhouse.
But I loved MTV. So I appreciated new videos. I was looking for that new, cool, fun video that was going to come out. And I was looking forward to seeing what Michael Jackson, I mean, he was huge at the time. Huge. And you're just waiting to see where his talent is going to take him next. And it was a great video. And they took it to another step as a video because they had the storyline involved in the beginning. With him on the date with the girl, and then it turns into the music video from like a movie setting, right?
Right.
And it was a pivotal moment in MTV history. And I'm not just going to say music videos because that's not really what it was all about. It was MTV, man. MTV was what it was all about. And I so miss the days of true MTV. They've destroyed that. MTV destroyed itself somehow. The producers or the owners or whatever it was, they destroyed something that was so impactful on our generation. And thank God for VH1 Classic.
Yes.
And YouTube. I mean, you can go back and watch all these things on YouTube now. As soon as if you remember which one you want to see.
So sticking on the Thriller for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
The people that produced the show The Walking Dead, if you want a huge shout out, put one of the zombies in the Michael Jackson outfit. Just put that in the background somewhere, and 80s fans will just die.
That would be awesome.
It's only going to be on for just a few seconds. You'd be like, oh my god, that guy's wearing the Michael Jackson outfit. And then just quickly go away from him. You don't even have to focus on it. But just a little shout out to the 80s would be awesome.
That really would be. I think you need to contact somebody. That's great, dude.
Just out in the background somewhere. It's really, I think they're missing something there. If they could just put that out there, I don't know if somehow somebody knows somebody that produces that show that listens to this podcast, but take that idea and run with it.
Yeah. So, did you have any others you want to mention? Because I still have a couple more that I want to run through real quick.
Well, I mean, if we're talking like the absolute pinnacle of like, music videos from the 80s.
Yeah.
That there can be like nothing better. Then it's
okay.
You've got the right stuff. New Kids on the Block.
Come on. All right. Now you're just being silly, Dave.
I am.
And I was going to be silly too because you said, what is my all-time favorite music video?
Oh, you're going to Eddie Murphy, aren't you?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No.
Let's hear it.
My all-time favorite music video. Wait, I got to check the running time on it. 1 hour and 35 minutes.
An hour and 35 minutes for a music video.
Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
The movie that is...
It doesn't really qualify, but it's one long music video. That's all it is.
And that's another one that qualifies as bizarre and weird.
Oh, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the kids falling into the meat grinder. Yeah, that's not too weird.
Yeah, exactly. Who thinks of that?
Apparently, the guys from Pink Floyd.
I'm thinking.
And Bob Geldof was happy to be part of it, as he played Pink, actually.
What's that conversation look like? I mean, are they just sitting around like throwing out ideas for the video and going, okay, wait, we'll take kids and we'll throw them in a meat grinder. And somebody's like, yeah, good idea.
But you know what you got to dig deeper than that. It's a lot that album is a lot more than just a bad acid trip. Seriously. There's a lot more to it. I know Pink Floyd very well. I that was one of my favorite bands, and they have a lot to say. It's not just weird, crazy stuff that a lot of people think it is.
So they're not just turning it up to 11, is what you're saying?
No, that would be Spinal Tap.
Yeah, they're more than that.
Yeah, which is another great music video if you want to watch the whole thing. If you want to consider a video, actually, it's got more dialogue in it than The Wall. But anyway, I digress. So, a couple other songs, a couple of other videos that just really always stand out to me as memorable as Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
Okay.
You know, just his face. The whole video is just his face.
Yeah, and the thing is like I don't even remember the Phil Collins video. Every time I hear that song, I'm thinking
drum solo.
No, I'm thinking Tubbs and Crockett in driving down the freeway
in their Ferrari Spider.
Yeah, exactly. And that song comes on. That's what's in my brain. I mean,
wow.
And thank you, Miami Vice, for just doing that very long image, of them just driving down the freeway, and that song's in the background.
Yeah.
And that's emblazoned. I've almost forgotten that, there was a actual original video, because that's taking over the spot of that song.
Yeah, that's wild. Because you should go back and watch the video. It's not thrilling by any means, but it's just a really interesting take on a video, because it's just Phil Collins' face with this really crazy weird lighting and interesting take on it. So it does not bring to mind Tubbs and Crockett in my head.
Okay.
Another one that always just kind of, I just can always see images of it in my head. I can imagine it very, very easily. Is another one-hit wonder, and it's Quarter Flash, Hard in My Heart. And I know a lot of people are like, well, whatever, Quarter Flash, Hard in My Heart. But I just remember it being on a lot in the early days of MTV. And it's just something that sticks in my head. But the last video that I want to talk about, and I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Jesse tonight, because if it wasn't for Jesse's love for Bruce Springsteen, I would not have come across this video. And I did not watch it. I don't remember this video from the 80s. It was released in 87 on the Tunnel of Love album, and it is called Brilliant Disguise. And so I'm giving a little shout out to Jesse because he's been going through some things, and I feel for him. I love the guy. He loves what he does, and it's good to pull in for him, and hopefully we can all get together behind him and pull for him too. But Bruce Springsteen, Brilliant Disguise is a powerful video, and when I did a show with Jesse and another guy, Bob. And we did all the 10 best songs of the 80s of Bruce Springsteen. And I found this video. I'm like, holy cow, this is amazing. It's always been one of my favorite Bruce songs, Brilliant Disguise. But it's so simple, but so powerful. And I guess Bruce was going through some divorce things at the time, so it was everything he wrote for that album was really deep. And so it just starts out with him on the guitar sitting in a kitchen playing guitar, and he's singing directly to the camera, and it's a wide shot at first, but as the song progresses, the camera is slowly zooming in closer and closer and closer and closer, and right up into Bruce's face. And his emotions are coming through that video. And I was so excited to see this like creative video from that time that was so powerful, and I had no idea that it existed. So this was like my hidden gem that I didn't know about. That was the last one that I wanted to bring up. So anyway, that's my take on videos.
I think it's kind of interesting that you have somebody that's so talented like Bruce that can pull that off. I haven't seen the video, but the way you describe it, it's just him playing, right?
Dude, you got to watch this video.
Yeah, and
seriously, take the 3 minutes and 42 seconds or whatever it is, and just watch this video.
Yeah, because I know the the stuff that was getting played a lot, back in the 80s from Bruce, and who can forget Dancing in the Dark?
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox dancing. You think 80s, and that's what pops in your brain. Born in the USA,
right.
Bruce, just owned all that. That was just, fantastic. And you thought Americana, you were thinking people like Bruce, and you were thinking people like John Cougar Mellencamp. And these guys were just, they were selling that, common man Americana vibe.
Right.
And for what you're saying about this video that you're talking about, it just sounds like, you had something deeper, emotional going on. And if you could pull that off with just him playing guitar and then zooming in on him, that says something to the man.
Oh, and it's black and white too.
Yeah, and that makes it even more powerful.
It just gives it depth. It really is. It's an amazing, and sometimes you find the most creative art in the simplest things, right?
Right.
And this is one of those videos that I think really just it sets the bar very high for bringing emotion, true emotion through a video. And it was just a music video, but to him it was much more.
All right.
That's why I love it.
And what you said about Mr. Jesse Jackson, he's tops. He's absolutely tops. And you're right, he's got some stuff going on, but I know he's pulling through it, man. He's our Superman, and he's going to make things happen, and he's we're all behind him.
Yep, for sure.
And as you were talking, I was looking through like a website that had like all these different 80s videos mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to come up with like stuff to bring up, that were iconic. And one that jogged my memory as I went through the list, that I don't even know if you remember it or not, but there's a video called Warrior by Scandal.
Oh yeah, totally know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a fun song.
Yeah, it was great. Great one. Now, there is like a mystery video that I've been trying to figure out what it is for. Oh, hold on. I accidentally hit. Hold on. Sorry. I don't know if you could hear that when I play a video.
No.
Of my end. Okay, good. That's good. There's a video, and it was done in the concert style, almost, where it was like the band on stage, but they really didn't show any people, so it wasn't like really in concert. It was just them on stage more than anything. And I've been trying to figure out who this was and what song it was for like 20 years. I mean, I'm like, I just got to know who it is. Even if it's a terrible song, I just got to know who it is, because this image keeps going through my head. And it's like that glam metal stuff, you know what I'm saying? The glam rock.
Right.
And it's this guy with long blonde hair is the lead singer, and he has these crazy boots on, like long knee-high white fur boots, and they're always kicking into the camera, like, I don't know how you explain it, but they do their high kicks and stuff and dancing around on stage, and these boots, I can't get these boots out of my head. I'm like, who did this? Who was crazy enough to wear those crazy boots on a video? And I still can't figure it out. I have no idea who it is.
So that's all you're giving me to go on, is
that's it.
hair,
and
blonde
white
hair,
boots.
white boots.
Fluffy boots, yes.
White
fuzzy boots. Fuzzy boots.
Okay.
Yeah.
And them kicking into the camera.
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
And so it's like a stage, but not necessarily with a audience.
Yes.
I've got nothing.
I know.
Nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah, I reached out to this guy on Facebook. He had a page. I miss the 80s, and he doesn't post on that much anymore. But I know who the guy is now. It's this guy Lee, and I reached out to him. He's like, "Yeah, I remember the video, but I have no idea who that was." I'm like, man, what help are you? Hey, there's I'm just throwing this out there because I'm looking at this list of all these songs that were popular videos. We did not talk about We Are the World.
And I was about to say we didn't talk about Video Killed the Radio Star by the Bubbles.
Well, yeah, strange video also, and
Very
the
iconic.
first.
Yeah, the first
because
video
it was the first.
MTV. Yeah, on MTV.
Yep, and the lyrics were pretty powerful at the time.
Exactly, for what MTV was selling to us.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I gotta tell you, I loved what they sold. I love what they did. I love that everybody was able to bring that music. They brought music to a different level. Now you had something visual to go along with the music, because you didn't always have that. Sometimes you had things in your head of what you would imagine what was going on in the story, but when they brought it to video and you saw someone else's depiction of it, you're like, oh wow, that's cool. It was just fun to watch. I couldn't get enough of MTV when I was that age. Seriously.
But in some cases, did it take away from the the song? Because
No,
as we talked about, there's instances where we loved the song, but the video was like, eh. And would it be better in that case not to have had that video?
Yeah, I could see that. I see your point. I think, looking back at it now, though, the timing of when MTV hit the scene and my age, I was just getting into music, so I didn't have as many images in my own head yet of what I would picture for music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't put it in a video in my head. It was just music at the time. It was music with lyrics, and you just but when they started putting it together with the videos, that's where I guess I'm.
I guess my argument is
Yeah.
equivalent to the fact of, if you're a person that's into books, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody takes one of your favorite books and then
Sure.
make
If you bring up The Running Man, I'm gonna have to come over there up into Chicago and smack you in the back of the head.
They take one of your favorite books and they turn it into a movie.
And they
let's
destroy
say
it.
they destroy it.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, is it your? Think of great books in your life that maybe haven't been represented as a movie, and what happens when somebody decides to do that, and they don't do it well? Now, apply that same logic. You have your favorite song, your favorite music song, and somebody makes a video, and it's not great. It's
Yeah, and I've had that happen over the last few years. Actually, there's a couple like I love the band Alter Bridge.
Okay.
They're rocking hard, but one of the videos that they came out with to go with one of the songs that became one of my favorite songs by them, I didn't get it. I just didn't. It was animated and had some. It was just really it just didn't. I mean, it told the story in an animated way. It told the story of the song, but it just didn't. It didn't impress me at all. We'll say that. I didn't dislike it, but like you said, I was all right, whatever.
So,
but I will. Okay.
So, I mean, does it then take away from the song?
No, it could if I let it, but the song is just so kick-ass that I can't. I just don't think about it. I saw the video once. I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna rock out.
So you take the images of the video and you're like, all right, well, I've seen it. I'm moving on. I don't even need to think about it anymore.
Right.
I'm just gonna enjoy the music.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I think of the song. The song is called "Cry of Achilles," and it's an amazing. It's like 8 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes long. It's just really incredible. If you like hard rock and just heavy metal, and it's very, very well done. Great production, just incredible talent. Anyway, real quick before we go, there was one video that came out about 8 or 10 years ago, maybe less. Might have been less, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, by Muse, the band Muse, which they weren't even around in the 80s. I mean, they were probably born in like the late 70s, early 80s. But it's called Uprising, and the video made me want to hear the song again because it was so unusual, and it's like the band is traveling around in a toy truck, like a little toy truck, and it's very well produced, so it doesn't look cheesy. They're traveling around a little toy truck, and these giant teddy bears are coming out of the ground and attacking them. It's just really, really bizarre. I'm like, wow, this is really creative. These guys are going all out. It has nothing to do with the lyrics, it doesn't tie in, but it's just really, it's a cool video. If you ever get a chance to watch it, go check it out. Uprising by Muse.
That sounds just so bizarre.
It's got a good beat to it. The song's really a cool song, too. It's a good song. Anyway, well, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. As we were going... Well, no, I mean, I don't think I have anything, like, jumping out at me.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many music videos that are, like, so iconic that we could spend probably the next hour just listing them.
Well, I've mentioned to you before the collection that I have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have this I found it online, and it's, Ultimate 80s Videos or something like that it was called. And I ordered it, and I got it in the mail, and it was 2 packs of 12 DVDs each. Or no, 6. Sorry, it's 12 total DVDs. It's 6 DVDs in each pack. And you could totally tell that the cover that they slipped inside the CD box was totally printed right off somebody's HP printer from 1997. It was so cheesy. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they had the stamp and press CDs, the stamp press CD labels.
Yeah.
And they have like all the videos and the artists are, typed out and fit on these CDs. But you just it was just and then as you're watching the videos, sometimes you'll see like the channel that it was on that day, wherever they ripped it from, wherever they copied it from and put it onto a DVD. And so I have, and it's like 350 or 360 videos. Some of them are real, like rare finds that you didn't see very often, but then there's some that are, that you saw in very regular rotation. But I tell you, if we have people over and we put those videos on, we hang out with a lot of the same age group that we're in, If I put that video on, if I put one of those DVDs in, the party almost comes to a halt everywhere else, and all you do is see all these people watching these videos and going, oh my God, I remember that one. Oh, I love this one. This is a great one, And it really, we're all from that same era, so it really brings us all back. And it reminds me of parties that I would go to back when I was in high school, where we would sit around and watch MTV.
That actually sounds like a awesome afternoon.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's great. We have people over, hang out, 6 or 8 or 10 people come hang out, and we'll, have a couple of drinks and play pool and have the 80s music videos in the background. It is a really good time.
And I have not been invited.
Hey, you guys, the door is open. Swear. You guys come down here, you got to come over. If you're anywhere in the Tampa area and you don't come by, I'm going to be very upset.
So what you're basically saying is this is an open invite for all of our listeners if they're in the Tampa area?
Yeah, sure. You know what? Tell you, if you send us an email at 80's Reboot Overdrive at Gmail.
No, it's just 80's Reboot at gmail.com.
80's Reboot at gmail.com. You send an email to us asking to come over and watch some of my videos. I will have you over.
How about that? Awesome.
I will have you over, and we'll play some pool, and who knows, maybe we'll even jump in the pool. Although, wait, I have to rephrase this, because in the month of probably mid-May to mid or late June, we're tearing out the kitchen and putting a new one in, so that nobody can come over at that time.
Unless they want to help you tile.
Right.
Exactly.
Or paint the ceiling.
Yeah, but I want to go back to an earlier point that I didn't get a chance to completely.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Totally monopolized this conversation.
We're podcasting. That's what happens.
Okay.
But I just a little note, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
To you, sir. Ready Player One. What I was alluding to, that was for you, sir. Do not mess that movie up, please.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dude. I don't know. Sometimes I have second.
Spielberg.
I really have.
Don't see that happening.
I've second guessed these things before. Like if I read a book and I'm like, oh, this is an amazing book. If it comes out in a movie, I'm like, do I really want to take that chance and have it imprinted on my mind in a different way than I really truly enjoyed the book?
Right. And
yeah.
Because Ready Player One has just become so ingrained as one of my favorite books now of all times.
Oh, it's a great book.
And I'm worried. I'm actually worried. And even though it's Spielberg, Spielberg is awesome. And I couldn't imagine a better director for this movie, but I'm still worried.
Yeah.
And yeah, please, people don't mess it up. That's all I'm asking. Is that too much? Just a small little request. Don't mess it up. Because I love the book so much. But anyway, what I wanted to do also, and this is going to go off the 80s music video thing, is there is something that Scott Rose and I have going on, and there's this thing that we are trying to raise money for this, another media group, actually, that we're looking to start. And I want to give a shout out to our GoFundMe.com campaign. And what you do is, what we're planning to do is, the three of us want to get together and start our own media group where we're talking about 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s. So it's going to be kind of the same vein as to what we're doing right here with 80's Reboot Overdrive. But in this case, we would have distinct channels where we're talking about specifically the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, like I said, and have like our own channels for each one of those decades.
Mm-hmm.
So all these great iconic things from the 1970s and 1990s, which we haven't really covered too much on 80s Reboot Overdrive because we're trying to respect the decade that we're playing in.
And I can't wait to get part of that 70s because I'm a 70s nut too.
Yeah,
70s, 80s, that's my thing.
Yeah, I mean, in the 70s, I mean, I was a young kid, you know, and there's tons of great iconic things that happened in the 70s that we haven't really even touched on. Because
we could talk about Evel Knievel.
That little wind-up thing, the little wind-up toy where it just rocketed out.
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about. As soon as you say Evel Knievel, that's what pops in my brain. You know, and, you know, Sid and Marty Krofft, you know, Land of the Lost, Boogaloo,
yeah.
the Bugaloos.
Yep.
You know, H.R. Puffin stuff. You know,
Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, and, you know, so that's 70s. And then jump forward past the 80s into the 90s, you know, I would love to be able to go in depth and talk more about, like, the grunge scene, you know, where, you know, the Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, you know, very iconic music in the 90s that I was just absolutely in love with. You know, and then great movies, you know, like Jurassic Park. You know,
Few Good Men.
Exactly. You know, great stuff that, you know, we would love to just be able to expand and talk about. And that's what we want to do on that media group.
Yep.
So in order to help us do that, what we'd like you to do is go to https www.gofundme.com/a-retro-podcast.and-media and network. I know that's long. I'll put it on the show notes so that people are able to get to it. But all the things that Scott and I were just alluding to, that's what's going to open the door and allow us to talk through those different decades. And we'd like your help to get us there.
Absolutely. And I'm very excited about this adventure that we're about to start.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, the GoFundMe has already been doing pretty successful, and we've gotten enough funds to actually pay for the first year of the website. So we're well on our way, but the rest of the funds are going to go towards either marketing the new network itself or paying for the streaming service that we use for the podcast. So we're going to get there. You know, we're going to definitely do this. It's just a matter of how quickly, and that's where we need your help.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to the topic at hand, we have the favorite 80s music videos, and this is part of, as I said, the collaboration that we had with our 80s League. So once again, so that everybody knows to go check these guys out, Rediscover the 80s. They're at rediscoverthe80s.com. We Midget is at wemidget.wordpress.com. Killer Kitsch is at killerkitsch.wordpress.com. And then Stuck in the 80s is tampabay.com/blog/80s. And also Old School Evil, which is oldschoolevil.com. Our stuff, of course, southgatemediagroup.com/80s reboot blog. So a lot of us are going to be posting things where I hope that we're sharing the links of our favorite 80s music videos, and we'll have them all linked together. Check out all that great content by those people, and you know, be sure to write comments on their articles. Very important, so you can, you know, bring awareness to it, retweet, share those links, because they're all awesome stuff. Whew, boy, all of a sudden I took over.
Wow. Well, hey, you got all that information on who's all involved. I saw that list last when we did it when I was with Rose and we did the villains version. I'm like, man, how does he read all these things? It's amazing how many people we have collaborating with this with each topic, and it's so much fun that we're getting so many different angles of these topics that we're talking about. So I can't wait to hear the other guys, everybody else's takes on their favorites or their not least favorites, or whatever they chose, whatever direction they chose to go in to talk about videos, because it's a fun topic. And I mean, as if you couldn't all tell, I really had a lot of fun with this topic because it's something that's very, very impactful from my days in the 80s. Going to high school from 82 to 86, MTV was very important. You're a teenager. I don't know. It doesn't seem like teenagers have that love for music the way we did back then. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just out of touch with what kids are. These kids these days,
No, my teenage daughter. I mean, she's into music. Now the music she's listening to, I don't know any of the current artists or the songs. So somewhere I jumped off the pop culture, trail where I was staying current. So she's listening, she's into music and she's into bands, and there's a song or something like that where I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And then she's like, oh yeah, these guys did that. And I'm like, who? And so, she knows her stuff.
Oh, come on, you remember Rick Astley.
She's not listening to Rick. But the thing of it is, I think that, I don't know if, for them, in the current generation, their intake for music video is probably equivalent to finding on YouTube. I think you're not sitting down for a afternoon. You're not sitting down for hours and just watching MTV, and equivalent to like what we were doing, where we were holding our tape recorders by the waiting for our favorite song to come on so we could tape it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Try to cut out
tape. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get the tail end of the song before it and the beginning of the song after it, or commercials, right?
Right,
yeah.
Right. So it's not like they're doing any of that, but it's just they're able to get direct content. They're able to get that right away, and just by doing the right Google search or the YouTube video or whatever it is that they're listening to. I don't think there's any too much video content like on Snapchat or something. But like I said, I've kind of fallen off of that. I find what works for my social media niche, and I'm kind of stuck in my ways now. I'm that crotchety old man, maybe. So, but speaking of social media, Scott, how do people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at 80's Auto Reverse, and also at Scott's Eye if you want to see any of my photography. I post on there occasionally, or on Facebook. You can find me through Scott Compton Photography or 80's Mixtape Auto Reverse on Facebook. So many ways.
Many ways.
Yeah, I have an email too for the Mixtape Auto Reverse, but I can never remember the whole thing, so because it's never used. Nobody ever uses it.
All right. Well, if anybody drops a line and they want to do 80sreboot@gmail.com, I'll forward.
See, that's
it
so much
Scott.
easier. That's so much easier. Yeah, forward it on to me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, if you're in the area and you guys want to come hang out,
all you got to do is a small donation to our GoFundMe. And,
there you go.
And you can hang out and watch videos with Scott, and he'll even serve you some scotch.
Or some really good craft beer.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Cool. All right. And I am Dave, so take care of our 80s Reboot accounts. And that is, as I said before, our blog is at southgatemediagroup.com/80s Reboot blog. And our email, 80sreboot@gmail.com. Facebook is /80s Reboot. We also have a Tumblr. That's 80s Reboot also. And our Twitter is at 80s Reboot. So there are plenty of ways also that you can stay in touch with what we got going on with the 80s Reboot Overdrive content. And, we're going to continue to do fun stuff with that. And thank you for reliving the 80s.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Yep. Bye. We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80s Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80s Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80s Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s. Alright, now why was it so hard for me to wrap that up today?
I don't know, man. Sometimes that's just the way it goes.
I guess so.
It's okay, though. I had a fun. This was a fun one.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell that you really you were into this topic.
Yeah, this was a good one. At first, when you said 80s videos, I'm like, wow, what? Like what? What about them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a very general topic. That's not specific enough. So that's why I came up with as many videos as I did. What happened?
I'm looking at the list of videos of 80s videos.
Yeah.
We're not going to take it, Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Great one. I Want to Rock.
Niedermeyer from
Animal House.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whip It, Devo.
Oh, dude. That's a great one. That's one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
Don't.
Paula Abdul. Anything with Paula Abdul.
Okay. No. That's they can go. I don't care about that.
You don't like Paula?
Eh.
Oh my gosh, she's awesome. The
Okay.
fabulous Paula Abdul.
So Cheryl's husband, Chris, my cousin.
Yeah.
If you're ever in a conversation with him and you say something that he's like, kind of weird about, he'll go, eh. Yeah, just listen for it. I got that from him.
I've heard that.
Maybe not so much. That's what he'll say.
That's exactly what he says.
Oh, I love that guy, though. He's funny.
Let's see.
All right, I got to go to bed, and my wife is probably sleeping, and I always wake her up and bother her and stuff. So I gotta.
Well, don't you forget about me.
Well, I won't be dancing on the ceiling.
And that's what we should do. We're going to spend the next moment here just talking back and forth with music titles.
I just want to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Yes, but I wear sunglasses at night.
Oh, okay. I Want to Rock.
Straight up?
No.
Don't be tempted.
I'm going to have to burn down the house.
As long as you wake me up before you go.
And that is it. Have a good night, folks.
All right. Good night.
I'll see you later. Yep. Bye.